Hello, and welcome to another SchoolNet video. This is Ernie Elliott. Today we are going to focus on how to create an express test using the Assessment Admin module. We will find the express test by going to the Assessment Admin module that is located here on the blue navigation bar on the home page. So from there we will click Create. Clicking Create opens a new screen with two different options in the Assessment Admin module. Option 1 is to create an express test. Since that is what we want to do, we will click that Start Now button. We are now at the Create an Express Test page. This view allows us to see essential elements of an express test. Notice that the test name, the subject, and the grade level have asterisks, meaning that they are required fields that we have to fill in as part of the first step process in creating the test. In giving it a test name, you should follow district and/or building determined naming conventions. This will aid in locating the test during future assessment cycles. The test data category drop-down gives us four options. For the purpose of today, I am going to select My Classroom. Next we have the subject level, and it gives you many categories. I am going to select English Language and Literature. Grade level, I'm going to choose 11th grade. The final drop down is the Preferred Standards document. And if we open that, we can see that there are many items that can be chosen from this. I am going to choose the English Language Arts. These radio buttons we will leave alone, and we don't need those at this time. So now I'm ready to click on the orange Select Standards box. So we'll move to the next step in the process, and we'll wait for the screen to refresh. Now the Select Standards screen gives us some items to look at. We've got our standards document, our subject, our grade level, and then we have this box where we can search to find a standard. If you know its particular ID number or the text to name that standard, you can use that should you choose to do so. We have several standards listed here that we can choose from, along with the corresponding available test items that relate to each of those standards. Now, to help in creating this assessment, I have chosen reading and informational text. And I am going to select out of here. I'm going to expand these so that I can get a good look at what's available. I'm going to choose R1.11-12, and I am going to choose the CCR option 0.02. Alright, now I'm just selecting those out of the air. The key thing for the purpose of this is I needed to make sure that there were actually test items associated with this. You know, there are some here that have not, and you would want to stay away from those. Alright, so now I am going to add these to the test map, and as soon as that screen refreshes, I see that I have some items available in here. For the first one, I've got 7 for the first standard. The second standard, I have 9. Now I want to keep mine to a I'm just going to do a 5-item test. So I'm going to do 3 out of this one and 2 out of that. So I am going to ask SchoolNet to pull 5 test bank items to add to my test, and then I will build the express test. And we'll wait for the screen to refresh. We will be able now, there we go, we have the test detail page. And I've got this zoomed in so that we can look at it a little more closely. We've got in the center here is where you will see all of the passages, and they're marked by the green border, and any test items that are marked by a gray border, and they also have a corresponding number with them. The far right column, we have options that are available for items. Test items, we have the view option, the edit option, replace option, and remove from test option. On the passages, we simply have the view, edit, and remove from test option. The reason is we cannot replace the passage. We would have to remove the entire item. Alright, so if we click on the view item, that gives us a complete view of the test item that is now truncated on the screen that we have in front of us. So we'll wait for that to refresh so that you can see exactly how that test item is set up. I apologize for the time that this is taking. Okay, now we are at the item detail, and we can see that there's really quite a bit to this test item that was truncated on the original screen here on the item detail. So we'll go back. That just gives us a view of what's there so that we can look that over. Now we'll go down to a different item, and we'll look at the edit button and what it allows us to do here. Okay, the edit button opens up some options that are really very effective for us to use. We can edit the text that's in here. Maybe you have a different passage that you think would work even better for that. We can go in now and we can edit, if we chose to, each of the individual multiple choice items. We can set how many points each is worth, and we can designate which is the correct response. In this example, SchoolNet says that B is the correct response. And we can do some work with the passage here if we choose to do so. So we'll return to the test detail. Alright, now the next one is replace, and we can replace an item. So we'll click on that and wait for the screen to refresh for us. And now what we've got here is we've got 7 other possible items that we can pull in there. In this particular assessment, we would have to be very careful because the items would have to relate to the passage. But that is just to give you an idea of how, if you want to change a test item that has been pulled into the express test, how you can do that. And then we'll go back to the previous page. And the last one is remove the item from a test. And I'm not going to do that, but it does exactly what it says. That if you don't want that item, maybe you've decided you don't need that many items on your test, then you can remove one from there. Okay, I want to come back up here because we have a number of things that we can also do from the test detail page. You can copy this test. You can delete the entire test. You don't like what you've put together or what SchoolNet has put together for you, you can delete it. You can download it as a PDF if you want to hand it out to students, or as a Word document. You can also download an answer key, and you can create a cover sheet, which in some instances would be valuable to keep the tests more private as students are taking them. Also, you can click the Preview Online option, and that's what the students would see when they go on to take the test, either online or possibly in your computer lab. We'll take a moment to look at these options. So when we open this, as the screen refreshes, this is something that the student would see. They would have the student's name and that information. They can start the test. They would read the passages and then go down and read the questions and select their answers. And then they could move through the test in that manner. We can go to the next question and go to the next question. We can view a test summary, so they could know that, man, I haven't answered a question, so I need to go back and look at that more carefully. So that's just an idea of what things would look like for that. And so we'll close that out and we'll get back to the test detail. Well, we're now ready for the next step, and that is to look up at the top of the page for the orange button that states that the test is ready to schedule. When we click on that box, we open up a text box that warns us about the steps to make sure that we are ready to proceed. And I'm going to click OK. You can read through that when you're at this point. All right, we have now seen the steps in the process for creating an express test. We will look more closely at some of these items further as we advance in our training today. Thank you.